Hi everybody, always Rassie Erasmus here. If you did join here, I'm not 100% sure if you guys can hear and see me, so I'm just waiting for somebody to WhatsApp me and tell me if you can hear and see me clearly. So I'm just waiting for that thumbs up and then I'll start. Okay, it looks like everybody can hear and see me. Yeah, obviously I've never done this, and I said it will only be 15 minutes, so hopefully I'll stick to my word and only be 15 minutes. Obviously, there's nothing really controversial that will be said here, and yeah, it's just maybe a platform where, for the first time, I'm going to try and speak in a way where one can just actually relax, not before a test match or after a test match, talk to people and the ladies and the guys out there that want to hear what one's saying. I see there's close to 300-400 people on already. So I think that's enough. I thought if we get more than 10, then at least it will be I'll be chatting to more than just my family. So why would I do this? Just because sometimes when you do press conferences and stuff like that, you don't always get the opportunity to get the whole what you said in the actual press conference. Sometimes it get cut into pieces, and some get used in certain articles and some others, and other media houses and so on. And I thought just maybe a chat like this, post a tough year. Obviously, I'm talking individually as Rassie Erasmus here, but obviously everybody knows I'm part of the SA Rugby, and I'm working with the Springboks closely. And yes, I thought a topic that's really something that a lot of guys and girls, ladies, has asked me is social media, and why on social media. And from my mother to my family, to my daughters, to my friends, to people who don't like me, and people who like the Springboks, and they're different from all walks of life. People want to know why are you on social media? Um, and yeah, I think that's something. If I can just answer that one, that will be a start, and maybe we'll have a catch up chat in a couple of weeks, or maybe some other topics. I will anyway open this comments here on the side. If you want to send messages, you're more than welcome to send, and we might have a chat the next time when we do this. So yeah, nothing controversial. Talking about why would I be and people and players, in my opinion, be on social media. So I think the first thing, if I can start. When we started out as the Springboks in 2018, when I was part of them, we had a campaign called hashtag Stronger Together. And a lot of people has different connotations to what is hashtag Stronger Together meant, and how did it start? Basically, how did it start? Is we had a workshop, and I know there was a lot of people involved, but we basically said we want something that's tangible and can really be true, and which we can relate to, which was basically which the players and the management came up with some very creative people, is actually that there were three parties involved when eventually people support or back a team, or the Springbok specifically in this instance. And it started with, first of all, it's us, the coaches, the players, Chalk, the head coach, the captain, the management team, the medical team, those who are part of the Springbok setup, and they do the main thing, which is playing hard and really, training hard and delivering on Saturdays. That was the first party in hashtag Stronger Together, and then the second one was the media, which had access to the team and the environment, and where the supporters didn't. So whatever they were exposed to during the week, say a press conference or training session, the first 10, 15 minutes of a training session, and then by that, they would report hopefully accurately to the supporters or not supporters, so people who might be supporting the opposition team. So it's us, and then the media was the second leg. And then the third one was the supporters, or the opposition supporters, the fans, or the people that go and watch rugby, or see it on television. So those were the three legs of hashtag Stronger Together, and we believe that we do the main thing as well as we can. we give access to the media as well as we can, and they hopefully report correctly so that the fans, who's the third party and hashtag Stronger Together, then can form an opinion on what they see, how the players play, and the coaches hopefully coached during the week. And then the result play a big part, but also the narrative which the media put out there, which hopefully is always the truth and the correct way of reporting from what they have seen during the week. And then obviously the match get played, and then people support you or they don't support you on those three things. I don't think there's anything else that can influence that. So then on a Sunday and on a Saturday evening, there will be a lot of reporting, and the players will be trying for the next game again, and then the whole cycle starts again. So I was always totally against social media. I'm against media at all. I was at one stage very naive. I believe that media was the enemy, and that why should there be media? And that was when I was just a young coach coming into the game. And but then I made that connection that if you don't give media access, how would the supporter know what happened during the week? And if you have a bad media person who don't correctly report, the fan does get a connectivity to the team, or understanding or perception about the team, and he can only then judge them on their performance on Saturday, which is actually the most important. So, but then I learned that, listen, media, we can't live without media. They have to be there. They have to inform the fans, and the fans have to get that insight. So then social media came in, and I was totally 100% against it, and thought, oh, I told the players, I'm not talking about now the Springboks with Jacques the coach. I'm talking way back since when I started coaching long ago, 2005, 2004. And then social media came in, and I said, don't watch it, don't follow it. Why do you listen to what people are saying? A guy sitting there in a pub and he's tweeting something, and now you listen to what he's saying, and you are bothered by that or not bothered by you. And as it became all more sorry, complex and different social media channels. And not that I want to give a social media lecture here, is social media became just so advanced that you can tell players don't follow it. Their mother or sister or brother or girlfriend or wife or children would follow it, and eventually that will get to the team and or to the player or to the management member, and they will eventually be influenced by that. So why would I tell this long story, which I said was going to take 15 minutes, and I'm already at 8 minutes? Is because I'm on social media, and I'm a person that said you shouldn't be on social media. Basic was, and I might give a few things away here, and again, like we all say on top of social media, your views are my own. Not that I think that means anything. We all understand that when you talk as a person connected to affiliated or connected to a institution or team or company, you can say it's you're talking, it's your own opinion, but we know you will always get connected to that. But what I'm saying here currently is just, I'm talking really just from the heart and trying to say why I think there's a place, and why am I on social media. Our work weeks normally work like this. The teams I'm involved with is that, or which I'm part of, or oversee, or was part of, or coached, or now with the Springboks, that we play a match on a Saturday, and then on a Sunday the people will work the whole day, the coaches, the S&C guys, and then on a Sunday evening, they would do a review of the game and a preview of the game, and we'll select the team on a Sunday night. And then on a Monday morning, the team will know who the team is. So internally, the team must know as quickly as possible because of social media. Because the team, and it's purely to protect the players, to get focused and aligned for the test match that happens the next Saturday. Because from Monday morning, every single one of the three parties in the hashtag Stronger Together, the media starts who's in the team, who's going to play, and it's always, and when you put the team out there, all the speculation is gone, and the player can focus on the test match, which is or the match, or the provincial match, or franchise match. It doesn't matter. So that Sunday you do the review and the preview, and the team gets selected. And Sunday nights, even sometimes the players get told that they are in the team, so that they can go through their clips or the footage which we put on certain platforms for them to start preparing for the next test match. Why would we do that on a Sunday night already? Is because players don't have weekends. They Saturday and Sundays they play matches or travel or do analysis, where we give them their weekends, if we can call it that way, a Wednesday afternoon and a Thursday. That's a day off for players, obviously not for coaches. I'll tell you now why is that. So we'll train a Monday, the team gets announced internally. Tuesday we train, and Wednesday morning we train. But then a Wednesday afternoon and a Thursday, the guys are off, the players, to have a weekend, so they can actually relax, get themselves ready for the test match. And Friday they have captain's practice, and then Saturday they will play the test match. So basically, the big thing about that is obviously injuries. If you get an injury on a Wednesday, you've got 3 days to get ready before that test match and to make a change in the team. That's why we train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings, and give them Wednesday afternoon, Thursdays off. And then also, why do we announce teams on Tuesday? Again, it's all to protect the players, so that the whole social media buzz on why, when, who gets selected, who don't get selected, all those kind of things. So why am I giving social media the topic, and I'm telling you what does a week program look like? So we've got probably with a team exposure to a team 24 hours during a week, and that might sound like not much, but 1,400 or 1,300 or something minutes, which we actually we call it the main thing. And I know everybody all over the world now know when we talk about the main thing, that's rugby related stuff. That's not when you're on a physio bed, or when you're traveling in a bus, or when you do your rehabilitation for injury or something like that. This is or function, or that is actually just when you do rugby specific things. So our exposure to players and talking to them during a week is maximum during a week, 1,400, 1,378, I think, is the minutes which our program allows. So we've seen sometimes, as I said, our program on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. I've seen sometimes a player leaving on a Wednesday morning, 12 o'clock, from a brilliant Wednesday morning training, and seeing him the Thursday evening or the Friday morning, and the player is totally a different person. Either too much confidence or no confidence, or something is really bothering him. And in the beginning, I was totally against the stay off social media and don't follow it and all of those kind of things. But then eventually you get to understand that this is here to stay, and social media eventually takes everything and combine it into one platform, where it might be something in a Sunday newspaper, or it might be a newspaper article and a daily newspaper, or website, or online edition, but eventually it ends up on social media. So whatever gets said by a player or coach, when you are like anybody else, at the head of a specific team, or a department or whatever, you would if you don't know the narrative that's currently out there, you will sometimes be surprised by what is going on with this player, and why is this player so rattled, because they read social media. And that's where I see we quite a lot of people currently on here. So I guess it's not just media people. I guess there's a lot of supporters or people who support the other teams also on here. But your opinion actually count. So when you say something, and maybe when you're calm, or maybe when you're emotional, which is 100% understandable, eventually that gets to the player, and it gets to the coach, and it gets to the team. Not in a negative way. I mean, it actually finds its path eventually to the person which you directed it to. So if we weren't intact, or in sync with what was going on in social media, we would be very tough to, in those 24 hours during a week when we just spend on coaching and video sessions and analysis and those kind of things. We are fighting sometimes a fight. I'm not saying fighting, not fighting in a negative way. We're competing almost with what is currently the opinion of people, which sometimes are 100% right. Not that I'm saying people are wrong. But you sometimes, when you're trying to get a player confidence, or a goal kicker, or a guy who's making his debut, or a person who feels he must be in the team, or a player who's been dropped, and then what happens in social media, if you're not on top of that. So I decided to join it. and just to find out why are players leaving on a Wednesday afternoon, and you see them on a Thursday evening, and they are just they're either walking on water, and some guys are level-headed where it doesn't influence them, but then others you start to see, but hell, there's a hell of a story going out there. So that's why I joined social media, and certainly, yeah, there's things that one don't post about rugby, because you start enjoying the fans, or not the fans, the supporters or people who follows the game, and you start seeing the human side of them when they actually say something on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram and those kind of things, but when they actually say something, you understand this one is with a little bit of a tongue in cheek. This one is a typical South African joke. This one is somebody really trying to give advice. This is the purist who's giving this advice here. So you start to get the feeling of what's going out there, and you start enjoying the interaction with supporters and even people who say bad things, or not bad things, with people who's against the team and supports the other team. So you feel much closer to the supporters, and I guess that hashtag stronger together. Social media just gave that another leg to run with, and yes, that's something. Sometimes you post personal stuff, and sometimes you connect to people on a personal level, and sometimes upset people and say, there's a certain way things should be done, and they've got that in their heads, and that might upset them. Other people associate with that, and I guess that's the way life works. Sometimes people associate or agree or align with the way you do things, and sometimes not. I'm not qualified in psychology or any of those things to know how exactly it works. I just know that if we are not on top of that and understand that we will struggle to coach a team and to get them ready. Of course, it's not just newspapers we are trying to understand. And then I feel if you don't connect on a level with a normal person in the street, which the players are. They are normal people on the street, and which coaches and management, they're normal people on the street. We all have mistakes, and we all have strengths, and all have weaknesses, and we all, we just like they are. Not that I have to explain myself. Everybody in the team. I think sometimes when you can realize that player is just a rugby player, and yeah, he's he's just like all of us, sometimes making mistakes and sometimes they're doing things right. So for me to close off, because it's 18 minutes, I said 20 minutes. I'm not sure if that did mean to see there's quite a lot of people on here. And thanks for joining. Definitely, I see a few comments in here, and we can chat next time about that. I promise only 15 minutes. I think if we understand that, listen, when we talk on social media, the opinions are honest. Sometimes it's upset. Sometimes it's just to explain something. Sometimes it's just to understand what you guys are saying. And sometimes it's just to show we're all human. Yeah. So one thing I also learned is that if people don't understand the human side of you, when I say that is, I've got a very strong Afrikaans accent. I've seen that in when I was coaching at Munster in Ireland. It takes a while to get used to my accent. I've been in disciplinaries or things like that. When I speak with Afrikaans accent, English people see it as a very strong and a challenging accent, which sometimes social media shows people that you're normal, and sometimes a platform like this show that, listen, this is how I talk. I don't talk with specifically high English, or my vocabulary is maybe not as wide as people whose first language is English. So, yeah, I think that's the main thing. The topic was probably social media. Not that I'm an expert. I'm going to finish off with that, as saying there's reasons why we do things, and yeah, I hope I explained most of that. And yeah, maybe we'll do this again. And hopefully I didn't say something that can get me into trouble again. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, it was 20 minutes, not 15 minutes. And maybe again next week, or if I see there's some good engagement and this helps on any level, maybe a little bit later or sooner. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye-bye.